Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Wednesday to you and your family. Obviously, we're taking a look here at XRP. This is a request from my community members and a lot of my subscribers, so I figured we'll go ahead and cover this. I get the question right now, like, why isn't it pumping when everything else is? Well, you gotta understand, XRPs are already fairly overextended from the recent past. While it's holding fairly strong at its current price point, you shouldn't expect parabolic behavior right away because a lot of market dominance is coming away from Bitcoin going into other altcoins, not specifically XRP, because once again, it is fairly on the overextended side. We'll take a look at that much more. So if you are new to the channel, just know, not a financial advisor. Love teaching people to trade. I truly hope you can learn something here today. If you want to learn a lot more, cryptocash.tech is my website, of course. If you'd like to follow me on social media, we'd be fantastic to have you along. Link in the description below for that as well. And then if we take a look, of course, at my trading community, this is a big, awesome part of my trading process that I have. We all learn and grow together, and a lot of my folks are doing fantastic, more specifically with the Bitget exchange too. So this is really awesome when you look at it here, because we got a $10,000 prize pool every single month with Bitget. So again, if you want to be part of that, link in the description below. Be sure to register. If you've already registered for Bitget, you've been using it for some time, I can direct message me. I can add you to my list essentially, so you can be part of this prize pool benefit each month. Essentially, a lot of it is based on profit and loss ratio. There's also trading volume, and then of course there's an extra 4,000 based on 3 million in trading volume or higher. And these 4 lucky folks are going to be getting paid out $1,000 per person based on that simple fact. So really awesome stuff. Love Bitget, favorite exchange, way better than Bybit and or KuCoin. Highly recommend it. Link in the description below for that. So here's the thing with XRP. Again, to kind of reiterate, it's doing well and it's in a general sense. It's moving sideways. But if we look at this and compare it with Bitcoin, for example, it's obviously not doing the same. And that's a good and bad thing if you think about it, because it'd be nice if XRP was paired with Bitcoin, because it'd go up and it would have gone up already. You'd hit your profit targets at 50 to 51 cents, whatever that might look like, and essentially be paid out. But a lot of coins are not performing as well as they should, based on the simple fact that it takes time for that market dominance to come away from Bitcoin and to essentially come into altcoins. It's still a green day for Bitcoin dominance, and it's one of those things where a lot of alts are not going to surge when most of the money is going into Bitcoin itself and coming away from those alts, because all the profits from yesterday with the altcoins came into Bitcoin here today. Okay. Again, there's an interesting little give and take with altcoin dominance and Bitcoin dominance, but that's generally a factor. Okay. So that being said, XRP will likely take off, but it's probably more so when Bitcoin dominance comes down, and it's also likely more so when Bitcoin does poorly. I know it seems strange, but sometimes it has somewhat of an inverse pairing. Either way, that's all just kind of big picture stuff. What we also want to look at is the standard indicators here. Okay, so we're still under 50 on the RSI until we close above. I would say a closure above this key level Fibonacci retracement of 47 cents is what I'm looking for a long position. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a long just yet, because I think it's just kind of throwing a coin in a pond hoping for the best. I don't know why you would do that, but that analogy might speak to somebody. Either way, what I'm getting at is you're throwing money away, right? You don't have confirmation that you're going to be able to return that investment. That's essentially what we're looking for. We do see here, though, that the MACD is starting to dissipate. Okay, so that's a positive sign. It shows that we are potentially going to converge to an upside eventually, right? But that's not a guarantee either, not a reason to take a trade, but it does help kind of influence things. Another positive factor here as well is the 50-day simple moving average. This is, to me, one of the most impactful indicators you can use on the daily time frame, and it definitely is telling us right now that we're still above and we're holding strong in that regard. So that's somewhat of a trend line you could see, and then we can kind of draw it out here and just put this in here for later to kind of see if it continues to maintain that trend line. And again, the 50-day simple moving average will oftentimes align itself with a trend and continue until it doesn't. Okay, but we're above the 200-day simple moving average as well, so we got a strong support between 43 and of course 44.5 cents. Okay, so right now with the price being at 46, even though yes, it could pull back a little bit further, the likelihood of it dropping much lower than 44 cents is fairly low. Again, that's based on the volume of the last 50 days of trading. We can see that the average right now is 44 cents. Okay, so last 50 days of trading, 44 cents. That's essentially what it's doing. So again, great stuff there in that regard. I think we're mostly positive here on the daily, but once again, you want to look at all time frames to identify where we're at, because it's all statistical probabilities when it comes to trading a coin and kind of figuring out what it's going to do next, right? So far, the statistics do seem to be swinging in our favor so far. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. We're above the 50 and the 20, below the 200, kind of just averaging itself out sideways at that point. It's not really a big deal. To me, that's not super important. I think the fact that we're over the 50 is a good sign, and I think that's slightly positive. We're also up over 50 in the RSI as well, telling us that we have somewhat of a support level with this trend line continuing. We do also see here, however, that the MACD is starting to dissipate, which makes sense because Bitcoin was pumping pretty hard. Even though XRP didn't pump per se, it still increased. And we can see that dissipating now and basically letting us know that there could be a shift in momentum coming. All right, so we have mostly, I wouldn't say conflicting information, but we definitely don't have like true on confirmation here that, yeah, this looks really awesome, I want to take a trade. But it does tell us that, hey, we're getting some nice resets, the price action staying in place, and the likelihood of further upside, I think, is slightly higher than we would see downside, okay? So again, statistical probability, I would say it's 60-40 right now of further upside, okay? Again, let's look at some smaller time frames to identify the hourly. It's a really good one to kind of help us understand. We hit an 8 on TD sequential here. Bitcoin hit a 9, came down, came up to a reset with another 8. Bitcoin also hit a 9, and now it's consolidating sideways at 20,700. So that being said, that correlation essentially is there. We can see that. It's just that there's not a 2x or 3x for XRP versus Bitcoin because it's already overextended, okay? Again, looking at a connection between an altcoin and Bitcoin is an important thing, I think, to identifying where you're at in the general sense of things. You can also even compare XRP to its value of Bitcoin and understand that as well, the XRP slash BTC trading pair. That's essentially something you want to look at. But again, for the sake of this conversation, let's go ahead and finish the analysis and take a look at the cloud. This is the most important thing to me as far as transitionary timeframes and understanding of, if the 4 hour is going to look better because of what happens on the 1 hour. So we can see the conversion lines above the baseline, but barely. So we're losing that momentum to the upside. We can see the conversion line intersect with the price action, basically telling us we want to have trimmed or closed our position by now. Big surprise, you can see the price action coming down at this point. Furthermore, we also have the 1 hour here, essentially, where we got the actual upper and lower lead holding strong at 40, we could round up and say 46 cents. It's really close to 46. So hypothetically, we should see a bouncing point off of 46 cents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert at 46 and go ahead and see essentially what that looks like later. And if we're still holding above the cloud, things are looking okay, I might consider taking a long position with XRP. Until then, right now, the conservative indicator, that is the Ichimoku cloud, is telling us that we should not keep our position open, or at least, at the very least, trim our position and take some profit. That's an important thing right now. So again, if you're not taking profits, you're not going to be profitable. I joked about this with one of my community members and how redundant that statement is, but it's a true fact in the sense the fact of the matter is here that if you're not taking profits, you're not really trading. Okay, and it's nothing wrong with investing long term. I do it all the time. I added to my bag at 1,300, 1,250 for Ethereum, and 18,000 range for Bitcoin. I'm very glad I did. But on the same accord, I'm not going to touch that for a while. The stuff I will touch are my day trades and my swing trades, and those are things we want to wait for confirmation. We're not quite there yet. We do have a slight confirmation the price will pull back a little bit further, and Bitcoin is also giving us that quality 2 here, where it should consolidate closer to 20,500. That being said, we should experience a similar scenario here at 46 cents for XRP. Okay, so looking for a bounce off 46 for XRP. That's my target. All right. I hope this was beneficial for you and you made a lot of sense to you. If you're not part of my trading community and working with Bitget as a phenomenal exchange, I highly recommend you do so. Again, $10,000 prize pool monthly, really easy money there in that sense, just by using the exchange itself. Fantastic opportunity. Highly recommend it. Really, really good exchange. That being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me here. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.